Hey YouTube, so today I'm putting together a video for a training drill. You can practice, if you want someone to work on your vertical cuts. Basically, the drill breaks down into 3 cuts. Each step itself covers a couple different aspects of basic Kenjutsu training and principles, and by doing this drill you can learn some of these basic principles, and then throughout the rest of your training you can apply the same type of techniques or mentality and hopefully progress to whatever you want to do. So by doing the 3-cut drill, as I call it, you're going to be moving around, and all in all, for what I consider a full rotation, you're going to have done 9 cuts, and you'll have moved in a complete circle. So you're going to start and stop in the same position, or you're going to be facing the same direction by the time you're done. So for each cut, just in general, your forward foot is going to step and your back foot is going to push, and so this is going to give you power in your cut. It's going to help you stay centered and balanced throughout the cut. So not only are you doing the cut in a safe way that won't facilitate you overswinging or I don't know, causing strain on your body, or if you overswing and God forbid you hit your leg or your feet or something like that. This will kind of help keep simple things like that, safety measures, in check, and it'll allow you to look at your form and how you cut. And I'll go through with some checkpoints that you can kind of ask yourself, is everything going the way it should be? Are my hands in the right position? Am I moving too much, too little? Am I breathing right? All these things really come together in this drill, and it's really fun. So if you have a hard time committing yourself to just dry training for an extended period of time, this is a drill you can do for 5-10 minutes a day, and I think you'll see a lot of improvement. I've been trying to practice it for about a week and a half now, and at first it was really slow. First time I was even in the dojo learning it, I probably couldn't even take the first step without having to think for 5 or 10 seconds, just because I was really trying to do it right. But I'm going to try to break it down the way I learned it, and then highlight some of the things that I thought were challenging about doing it, and solutions to get past those challenges. So here we go. Alright guys, so starting off, I'm going to show you basically what the 3-cut drill consists of, and it's these 3 cuts, and on top I kind of indicated the motion you're going to be taking for each of the cuts. So this is going to be your starting forward cut. It's just by itself, it's just a basic vertical cut, stepping forward, getting the power, and then from there you're going to pivot 90 degrees and make your second cut. After that, you're going to, for the final cut, pivot 180 degrees, so directly behind you, and execute the last cut. So if starting out you want to just practice the vertical cut by itself, and then start slowly transition to each of these steps, that's fine, and take all the time you need, because some people it may help to kind of go through the motions and add on and fine-tune as you go. But it's also important to remember that if you are taking each of these cuts kind of step by step, you might have to unlearn some things you felt comfortable with by itself, because as you go through the motions you'll see that transitioning into each of the cuts that follow it might feel a little bit different than just doing each cut by itself. So these are the 3 basic cuts. This down here I've labeled basically 4 boxes. The first box is going through the 3-cut drill by itself. So it's a forward cut, 90-degree pivot, cut, 180-degree pivot, cut. And then, you know, once you get familiar with that, you feel comfortable, you want to try to start kind of going in sequence, kind of continuing the drill, because one of the great things about it is you can basically just do it in a circle. So if you follow along, the dotted line is where, well, for this one it's where you stop, but for all the rest of the diagrams it's going to be where you were before you started the next sequence. So I have them numbered, each of the cuts numbered. So you see in box 1 you have 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cuts, and then starting over here in the second step you have the 3rd cut, which you've already done, and so that kind of constitutes your forward vertical cut, and you're going to go directly into the 90-degree pivot and then followed by the 180-degree pivot. So the number 5 cut down here is basically the forward vertical cut you've already done. You're going to go straight to the 90-degree pivot, or the 90-degree pivot, and then 180-degree pivot. And you're just going to follow that, and then on the last step you're going to do 2 more cuts. So this is where you ended up here. From there you do 90 degrees and then 180 degrees, and you're back at facing your original starting direction. So, you know, I'm going to go into a little bit of a video demonstration on how each of these steps can be executed, but you know, if you're ever looking back on this video for reference and you just want to see like the basic pattern, if you want to copy this pattern down so you don't have to watch the video again, that's fine. And you know, it'll help just as a quick reminder if you know you forget any of the steps, or how you should progress through the drill. So for the vertical cut, you know, you can have your feet square if you want to, but whatever foot you decide to use as your front foot, that's going to be your stepping foot. So for this right now, it's my right. I push off with my back foot. You know, I'll take off my shoes so you can see how my feet are, because it all helps. So here, on my toes, I can push, I can come back, you know, I can move. Say I'm starting from my starting position. As I raise up, I'm pushing and push with the back foot, and it just comes up, follows behind. So for the second part, I'm just taking my foot, whatever was my back foot, step out, raise up, and pivot. So my forward stepping foot is now my back foot. It's the foot I pivoted with, and I'll be stepping with my left foot now. So step, and here for the 180 degree pivot, all you have to do, I'm going to back up just a little bit so you can see my feet, but all you have to do is step out to the side, raise up, and carry that motion, pivot, and you're there. And then you can step off with your back foot again. So I'll do that one more time, kind of a little bit quicker. So step, pivot, step, pivot, step, pivot. It's a quick way to do a about face. You can raise up, and as you start to get quicker and quicker, you won't even really have to do that full step. It almost just kind of happens in a quick motion. and I'm back to my starting position. Alright, so that's kind of just a little demonstration of what it's going to look like as you keep going through. Alright guys, so that's basically it for the 3-cut drill. As you can see, even training for it now, there's things that I have a lot to work on, just like keeping it tight, not overstepping. I don't know if you guys noticed, but on some of those pivots where I was going 180 degrees or even 90 degrees, if you step too far out in front of you or too far back behind you, you'll pivot into a position where it's not reasonable to expect that you can take another step without having to kind of get back into form a little bit, or you might pivot and end up with your feet too close together or too wide apart. These are all kind of things you can fine-tune and feel out as you go through the exercise. As far as overall goals, I wanted to kind of re-hit on a few points. One, I think this is a great drill just for practicing your vertical cut in a way that kind of gives you a little bit of movement along with it, so you can feel how your body moves, specifically around in circles pretty much, and work on that. Breathing is pretty important, because if you start going around a couple times, you will get tired, and the better your breathing is, the longer you'll be able to go, holding everything the same fitness wise. Your form, just like your overall stance and your form, like straight back, having your chest broad and understanding how your arm's going to move through cuts, all these things really add up to a better cutting session. I'll go into detail a little bit more. I mentioned something about using your hips to cut and helping to keep your back straight, and that's something I'm finding pretty important, especially like when you're adding steps, because if say you were to step and you're a little bit too far away from your target, so you kind of lean into the swing, and as a result you might get off balance. It might be harder for you to transition to the next cut, and if you're too close, you might not be able to get the appropriate amount of extension in the swing. So timing, spacing is really important. It's just a fun drill, so I hope it helps. I hope it was interesting, and let me know what you think if you guys give it a try. It's been pretty beneficial to me, and I enjoy it. So good luck everybody, and I hope you have a really good day. Bye.